Lydia Thorpe has threatened to burn down Parliament in order to get justice for Palestinians. I'm curious, Michael, should this become a police matter?
Yes, the Australian Federal Police should be brought in. She should be not allowed anywhere near the Australian Parliament building. There are thousands of people who work in that building during sitting weeks and in non-sitting weeks, and they are now exposed to somebody who has threatened to burn that building down. It is a workplace. Fundamentally, it is a workplace. She has threatened to burn down that workplace with thousands of people in it. I mean, let's not pussyfoot around here. She has made some very dangerous comments, and these must be enacted upon by the AFP.
Absolutely. Well, it's a risk now. You know, it's inciting violence, and we do not accept that at all in this country. So I completely agree. Now, look, the Trade Minister, Don Farrell, has refused to say whether he fears retaliation from China should Anthony Albanese sign a critical minerals deal with the US. Here he was on Sky this morning.
Australia doesn't just want to have one customer for its critical minerals. We've seen in the past what happens when you put all of your eggs in the one basket. So, and this is not about upsetting China either.
Michael, should Australia sign a critical minerals deal, and what should it look like?
Well, we've got so many critical minerals. We've got chromium, cobalt, lithium, scandium, titanium, manganese. I mean, we've got so many critical minerals that are vital in mobile phone manufacturing, in producing submarines, for another example. And if we've got a customer in the United States who wants to sign a deal because they're having a spat with China, well, so be it. So be it. We need to be able to trade with whomever we can for the right price, because our mining is making this country what it is today. It's paying for a lot of public hospitals and a lot of public schools. The trouble is, at the moment, we've had our mining industry, agriculture, demonised by Labor politicians. I mean, we couldn't even get Jim Chalmers to mention coal and iron ore in his first budget speech. What he said, though, he described them as the things we sell overseas. So they are the things which keep our export balances high. But what we are doing, we're cutting back on agriculture and mining, and we're importing trouble. That's what Australia is doing at the moment. We're importing trouble, and we're trying to then curtail those exports which have made this country what it is today.
Sorry, Michael, when you say we're importing trouble, what do you mean?
Well, you only had to look at the number of people who received citizenship just prior to the federal election. I mean, we had ceremonies lasting days, more than 10,000 people who had their citizenship papers just signed at a whim. And we've got 1,221 people coming into this country every day. They're coming into the western suburbs of Sydney and Melbourne. What we need is a planning and a population summit. Forget the productivity summit. That was just a union fest. We need to absolutely make sure whomever is coming into this country is having stringent checks and balances put across them. Those ISIS brides who are returning, I totally agree with the shadow Attorney General, Julian Leeser, when he says that people should have the right to know where they're coming back. And I tell you what, if they have been mixing with terrorists, as we suspect they probably have been, they are terrorists themselves, and they should be subject to the full force of the Australian law if and when they return.
I think everybody would agree with you, aside from Paul Scar, who would say that was inflaming emotions. I think you're spot on the money, though. The Prime Minister is taking a whole week of leave before his trip to Washington, D.C. I would have thought he'd be prepping for his meeting with Donald Trump. What does he need to do in order to convince the US that Australia are reliable allies and on the same team?
Well, he should apologise for Kevin Rudd for a start, because the US ambassador had put up some terrible tweets and didn't take them down until the election was well and truly finalised in the United States. And I don't think that anything that our ambassador has done overseas has endeared Australia to Donald Trump, to the White House aides. Look, he probably needs a bit of a week to prep. I'm pleased in one sense because Richard Marles is coming to Wagga Wagga to inspect the Air Force Base here and the Army Recruit Training Centre. So he'll come here as acting Prime Minister, and that gives that visit a bit more hoopla than what it otherwise would have. So, look, I'm not against him having the week off to prepare for that important October 20 meeting at the White House. It's a meeting which should have been held months and months and months ago, but he needs to absolutely get his lines right that the United States has no dearer friend and no nearer friend than Australia. We are very much and should be in lockstep with America. Very much he should praise Donald Trump for the peace deal he's been able to arrange in the Middle East. And these are important discussions for and on behalf of all Australians. We need our Prime Minister to be at his best when he's having them.
Absolutely. Well, look, let's see how it goes. I think we should all get the popcorn ready. It's going to be great. Michael McCormack, nice to see you. Thanks very much for joining us on the show this evening.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.